Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
Right here, please. Thank you. We now call cause number 26 CR 59. The state of Texas versus area.
Area.
Area. The emphasis is on the second part of your name, right? Lacaz.
Lacan.
Lacaz. You are here with Mr. Dusler, your attorney, and the state's attorney. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of this indictment and the arraignment? Here, can we proceed in summary?
Yes.
In summary, this indictment alleges that on or about December 20th, 2025, a few months ago, in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the first-degree felony of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, namely a knife. Do you understand what you're charged with here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Since this is a first-degree felony, you are facing a term of life imprisonment if convicted, or any term of not more than 99 years or less than 5 years in prison. In addition, a fine may be assessed not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand the punishment range you are facing here?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
An agreement's been reached where you would be pleading guilty and placed on deferred or unadjudicated probation. So, and that can be up to 10 years in length. There is no fine. Is there any restitution? Somebody was stabbed.
There's no restitution. The victim just requests mental health assistance. So I spoke with probation and we're going to do an evaluation and try to get her some help on that side.
Okay, but what happened to the victim? Did he have to go to the hospital or something?
He is not requesting or did not.
What I want to know is we went to the hospital, did the people pay the bill, or is he just, if they're fronting the bill, then she's got to pay the people of this county. That's what they want. They don't want to pay for other people's mistakes. They're paying taxes high already.
So it did go to St. Louis.
Yeah. Something that wasn't for free. There's some cost there.
I'd have to reach back out to him, Judge, and get the actual restitution amount then for his visit.
Well, it may be he may not even know. You know, he may walk out of there after they treated him.
Yes.
And then, but I know hospital puts it on the book somehow as an expense. And if there is, the people aren't going to absorb the payment by high taxes plus high medical costs for our insurance that we all pay for, because people are intentionally stabbing others, and then the treatment is absorbed by the people, which they don't find amusing nor fair. And I agree. I mean, if there's restitution, you're going to have to pay. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
This is going to be up to 10 years, and you do well, it gets shortened to 1/3 the time, which is 3 1/8. If I follow this agreement, you have no right of appeal of your case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How do you plead to this charge of a first-degree felony of assault, aggravated assault, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Are you pleading guilty voluntarily, that is on your own free will and because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
We'll show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 1. Did you sign that document voluntarily? Understand it? Discuss it with your attorney? Are the contents all true and correct?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 1 is tendered into evidence.
No objection.
Without objection, it's admitted. This states that you are mentally competent to enter your guilty plea. It's freely and voluntarily made. You know what you've been charged with. The indictment's been read to you. You read it. You were guilty of the crime charged in any lesser included offenses. You were giving up your rights to a jury trial and the rights to the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses. And you were totally satisfied with the representation provided by your lawyer. All of this will help you God.
Yes,
Correct.
sir.
And you are pleading guilty today voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently, and after discussions with your attorney?
Yes, sir.
All right. The pre-sentence report waiver.
Yes, sir.
You're going to follow this agreement and find you are mentally competent to enter your guilty plea. It's freely and voluntarily made. You know what you've been charged with, the indictment, but you've read it. You are guilty of the crime charged in any less than included offenses. You are giving up your rights to a jury trial and the rights to appearance, confrontation, cross-examination, and listening. You were totally satisfied with the representation provided by your attorney?
Yes.
All of this is true. So help you God. State's Exhibit 1 is made a part of the record for all purposes and pre-sentence reports.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to follow this agreement and find you. You are mentally competent to enter this plea, which is proven voluntarily made. There's sufficient evidence supporting the plea from State's Exhibit 1 admitted here to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. However, based upon the agreement reached, I am going to defer or postpone any finding of guilt so long, conditioned upon you following these terms and conditions of probation, which the probation officer is going to go over with you. Make sure you follow them, because if you fail, your probation could be revoked. You could then be found guilty and sentenced up to life in prison. Do you understand? No less than 5 up to life in prison. So there's a premium here on the requirement of you to follow these rules and conditions of probation. Restitution, it's stating none. There could be restitution just to what may be Christus or some other entity or people who absorb the cost for this intentional crime. And that's only fair that you, the responsible person, in all cases, who make a mess and admit to it, you have to pay the costs back. The people who are involved in it shouldn't be paying away for anybody else's mistakes. And that not only goes to you, for me, and for everybody else. We're all responsible for fixing our own messes. And that will be included. I'd like to know where we stand on that, because the court, unless something happens, that we find out that we don't know about, that defies logic, something, this costs. Hospital treatment always costs. It costs someone. This is an intentional act that you're going to have to repay somehow. You understand? So restitution will be ordered in an amount to be determined after the probation office does a post-sentencing report for it. Okay. Make sure you follow this and you move on with your life and make better choices. Anything else?
No.
That is something. Thank you. We now call 26 CR 159, the state of Texas versus Alan Moore. And you, Alan Christopher Moore,
Yes, sir.
correct? Here with Mr. Dusler, your attorney and the state's attorney. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of the indictment and the arraignment here? Can you proceed in summary?
Yes, sir.
In summary, sir, this indictment states that on or about January 12th of this year in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the 3rd-degree felony of stalking. And that is, listen, by sending electronic messages to another person. And it was done in a fashion that would cause a reasonable person to feel harassed, annoyed, alarmed, abused, tormented, embarrassed, or offended. Either of those or any collection of those verbs would result in a violation of law. Do you understand? Okay. You understand what you're charged with fully here?
Yes, sir.
And this is, if convicted, a 3rd-degree felony, which means you face a term of not more than 10 years or less than 2 years in prison In addition, a fine may be assessed not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand the punishment range that's applicable for any such case as this?
Yes, sir.
An agreement has been reached between your attorney and the state where you would be pleading guilty, not found guilty. So long as you follow terms and conditions of probation, you would be placed on deferred or unadjudicated probation, which would be up to 10 years in length, fined $500. You do well on probation, the term of probation gets shortened to 1/3, 3 1/3 years.
Yes, sir.
If I follow this agreement, you will have no right of appeal of your case. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to this charge? So guilty or not guilty?
I'm guilty, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty voluntarily? That is on your own free will and because you are guilty.
Yes, sir.
I'll show you what's marked as State's Exhibit 1 here. Did you sign that document voluntarily? Understand it? Discuss it with your attorney, or the contents all true and correct? State's Exhibit 1 tendered into evidence? Yes. Without objection admitted. Among other things, this states that you are mentally competent to enter your guilty plea. It's freely and voluntarily made. You know what you've been charged with. The indictment's been read to you. You've read it. You are guilty of the crime charged in any lesser included offenses. You are giving up your rights to a jury trial, rights to the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses, and totally satisfied with the representation provided by your lawyer. All of this is true. It states, so help you God at the bottom. State's Exhibit 1 is made a part of the record for all purposes. Is it pre-sentence report, Wade?
Yes, sir, it is.
How long have you been in jail now?
Yes, sir, about, I want to say about 70 days possible.
How's that working out?
Because the Lord's blessed me with another day, so it's,
I wouldn't want to be in there.
yeah, it's not easy, Your Honor.
There's a way to avoid that, you know. Fix it. Fix this mess. There, move on. Have you ever been convicted of anything before in your life?
Well, I completed in 2018, 10 years of deferred adjudication
Well,
for,
in this county?
yes, a long time ago, yes, sir.
In this court?
It was drug impact court, Judge Gist, and I completed it all in 2018. Since then, I have not been in trouble.
New set of facts. I kind of, I've been doing this for, turned for over 40 years. Never seen such a poorly set of facts. What the heck got into you? I mean, this is bizarre, right? Yeah. You think sending a picture of your penis to someone is going to woo them into affection with you and go out with you? Is that the way you deal with women? My God.
I made a
You're
mistake.
supposed to,
I made a mistake, Ron.
all right, well, fix this. This is a clear mistake here. Yes. Think that is the way you woo a lady? No. Gotta show some respect to number one and to the ladies, and that's not it. Far from it. Shame on you for that. Anyway, you go on this one. This is just, don't ever do such a thing like this. All right, you've seen State's Exhibit 1, and this states you're mentally competent,
Yes.
and I'm going to find these statements that you've signed here under oath of truth, that you are mentally competent to enter your guilty plea. It is freely and voluntarily made. You know what you've been charged with. You're guilty of the crime and any lesser included offenses. You were giving up your rights to a jury trial and the rights to the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses. Totally satisfied with the representation provided by your lawyer. All of this is true, so help you God. Yeah, speak out.
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 1 is part of the record for all purposes. Pre-sentence report is waived.
Yes, sir.
There's nothing further. I'm going to follow this agreement and, but here's the only caveat because the warning. You've been on deferred before, haven't you?
Yes, sir, I have.
Well, that didn't influence your future actions and decisions, knowing that we take crimes seriously, and you're looking at up to 10 years in prison in this one. Right? Plus, against no way to treat a lady. You're supposed to respect it. We're going to find you pleaded guilty voluntarily. You were mentally competent to do so. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading guilty. There's sufficient evidence supporting your guilty plea from State's Exhibit 1 admitted to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. But I'm going to follow this agreement and defer any finding of guilt. You will be placed on deferred or unadjudicated probation for 10 years. There will be terms and conditions of probation which are normally customary. Number one, you will have no contact with the victim. Absolutely not. There will, you will, in any way, shape, or form, by the way, you will complete a moral reclamation therapy program, which is a good program. It helps people realize and appreciate the consequences of their actions. And it's a crime such as this one, where it's clear this is not only a crime, but if poor taste was a crime, you'd be guilty of that too. That's just disgusting. It's not dignified to another person, much less a lady. If you fail on this, your probation could be revoked. You could be then found guilty of stalking and sentenced up to 10 years in prison. How are you going to do?
I want to complete it. I want to complete it all, Your Honor.
Well, I guess you learned something here, huh? There's no way a gentleman should act. That is all. Thank you.
Well, he sent 100 texts to try and woo a gal. Judge Grandpa looked down and said, now listen to me, pal. Your taste is poor and quite absurd. You bother her all day. You need a massive timeout, son, so put that phone on delay. That's no way to treat a lady. You're gonna get sent away.